Hey guys, Saf coming at you with another Raid Shadow Legends video, and today I'm going to do something that I normally never like to do. I'm going to have a very negative video today. I am extremely disappointed, extremely frustrated, I have no words to describe how this new anniversary Titan event with these new hero paths is actually awful. It is terrible. It is a step too far, and it is going to cost players enjoyment in this game. I think it's going to cost people, like, whether it's a question of whether they continue to play this game, because this is a step too far for me. And I have pretty much stayed away from all the negativity regarding the artifact ascension system. I could see where people were complaining, and I was going to do a video over the Christmas period around sort of my opinions on it in terms of, do I think it's a good system, a bad system? I got a bit ill, so wasn't able to record videos, but I probably will do a follow-up on that. But generally, my sort of TLDR opinion of that system was it wasn't the end of the world. I know some endgame players were really upset that their really, really good pieces didn't roll the right substat and there was no way to re-roll them. But generally, I thought it's not the end of the world, right? It's still a good piece. It's an additional enhancement that you can opt into by farming a little bit of energy. This system is incredibly deceptive, what we have got here. So let's just do a bit of a breakdown of what it is if you haven't caught the news. We've got the 4th anniversary event going on in Playroom. 4 years since Playroom has been running. I think it's the Raid anniversary, to be more specific. It's great. Raid has been awesome for the last 3 to 4 years. They've had really difficult last year. They continue to try and develop the game in a good direction, which I'm positive for, but this event is really a kick in the teeth. So it's going to last for 12 weeks. So it's a 3-month, or just over 13 weeks, I think it is, just under 13 weeks. It's a 3-month event, and we're going to need to collect these Titan points. Now, the way it has been explained in the patch notes is these Titan points will be limited in nature. Now, here's the first deceptive point that I'm really upset about. We don't know how many Titan points we're going to collect in total. So I can't make a decision whether or not in one of these events, so like the Hero's Path, if I need these 1,000 Titan points. I don't know. If I skip these, I might miss out on a reward. Now, if we compare this to when a fusion starts, we're going to get one on Thursday. We'll get on the first day of the fusion a calendar. We will know exactly how many fragments are available if it's a fragment collector, how many rares are available if it's a traditional fusion, or if it's a hybrid, how many fragments and various different things. We'll know the events, the dates in which they're going to fall. We can look ahead and we can go, right, well, I need to do this, and this. I can afford, if I want to skip one event, so I can choose which event I want to optimize to. Maybe I don't want to farm that dragon event, but I don't mind doing an artifact enhancement event. Maybe I know I'm going to be low on silver, so I'd rather do the dungeon divers. That's the problem with this event. I don't actually know what I can miss. As they have said, it is limited in nature. It feels like it's going to be a fusion event in the sense that I may be able to skip 1 or 2 things, but if I skip too much, then I miss out potentially on some of these high-end rewards. Now, you may sit here and think, well, there's only 1 Sacred Shard. Well, for a sort of a non-spender, a Sacred Shard is quite a big deal. That's 300 Summon Rush points. That's a lot of points. The Soul Stone is pretty good. The energy is not so crazy at 500, but it still rewards. This diamond chest, which we're going to get into later on in this video, and it is even worse than the whole system, to be honest. This has really, really, really frustrated me. You could get legendary tomes. Well, if I don't do an event because the reward or the event structure was really poor, I don't know whether I'm going to be able to get this reward. Now, I'm not saying that everyone should get everything for free. That's not the argument I'm trying to make here. I should know, as a player, what I can afford to lose. I need to know as a player, if I skip an event, what am I losing? I can't make that decision straight away. So that's the first thing. The second thing that looks really terrible with this is the events in which you gain the Titan points. Keeping in mind that we've just determined that you can't really afford to miss anything, are terrible. Like, as a new player, let's just consider it as my level of account here now. I'm an end game level account. Unless we are dealing with big resources, the value is nothing, right? I can make a 3-star chicken in 5 minutes. I don't use rare books. I'm not really using rare champions. So when we look at this, I have to invest whatever it is. We're going to do the breakdown of this hero's path in this video as well. But I think it's around about 32,000 points here to basically walk away with 25 gems, a few brews, a 3-star chicken, and some Plarium points, which again, I haven't done a video on. That's a whole nother conversation. Oh, and an ancient shard. It's so bad. Like, that's terrible for me as an endgame player. Now let's consider it as a new player. Well, this is upgrading artifacts and dungeon divers. So either I have to invest tremendous amounts of energies in dungeons, or I have to invest tremendous amount of silver to upgrade it. And what am I getting as a new player? Okay, well, I might need a rare. Awesome. 3-star chicken would be good, but the amount of energy or silver I would invest to get that 3-star chicken, I could just do it anyway. I don't need, like, this event isn't going to give me anything more out of my investment. It's actually taking away resources. It's taking away silver that I might need. So it's not even good for a new player. So I'm sitting there thinking, well, okay, the only reason this hero's path exists is to give us these universal Titan tokens. And we have to do the event, otherwise we risk the more valuable rewards, which for a new player is better, right? A bronze chest might give us some rewards, although these rewards are not essentially great for a new player. They'd get gems, a void shard. These milestones are actually good. Epic books. There's a legendary book here. We've got some tier 1 soul stones. We've got some unique avatars. The rewards in the Titan event is good. But to get the Titan event, you have to go through bad rewards. And then when we look at the other issue with the rewards, is let's just take a look at this tournament. They have basically replaced good rewards with these coins. I'm getting 50 player in points. Well, that's great. I can now shave off like 1 month of my 700 months that I require to get anything valuable out of the player in point system. Or I get more of these Titan points. But basically for 3,000 dragon tournaments, I'm getting a 5-star chicken. That's just, it's unacceptable because you are basically forcing players into a sort of FOMO mentality, fear of missing out, by giving them terrible rewards that they require to burn their energy with a chance at getting decent rewards, but you don't actually know, whether you're going to miss out on these rewards if you miss anything. It's not good. It's not a celebration of the game as it should be. There's too many layers. Essentially what they've created is a tournament event structure that has layers upon layers of complexity that you just do because you fear you're going to miss out or it's too complicated and you don't understand it. Now let's get on to one other thing here that is even worse than that this is deceptive in its entire nature. We've got these new chests. They're described, I think, I don't know if they describe it in here in terms of what they were doing. Oh, and also, if anyone didn't notice, go check out this FAQ and look what we've got coming up on the 14th of, that looks like 14th of December. So I don't know whether this is a placeholder image. I don't know if this is going to happen on the next week, but clearly they have plans to make a specific summon rush that you are just going to get terrible rewards for. Now, as long as this is in addition to existing summon rushes, it wouldn't be a problem. But if this could just be a placeholder image, I'm not saying that this is definitely an event that's going to happen, but if this has been thought about in Plarium, this needs to be in addition. Because I'll be honest, if all I'm going to get from one sacred shard is all of this nonsense, I don't want anything to do with it. It's just totally pointless. So yeah, in the actual highlights, we get this new random chest. This new type of reward will be featured in the 4th anniversary Titan event and elsewhere, some existing events and tournaments, for example. So I guess you're going to get it from a summon rush or various other things. More things to replace things we actually want, probably. This chest itself will contain an item or resource randomly chosen from the predetermined reward pool. Random chests come in 5 tiers. Naturally, random chests of higher tiers will provide greater rewards. Everything else is simple. You win the chest, open it, and claim your prize. This is a completely deceptive explanation of how this chest works, as per the way that it has been put into the game code from what I can see. And I don't even understand how it's been coded the way it has, because it doesn't make any sense to what they've actually shown in game. So, the breakdown of the way this works. Right now, there is a chest per milestone going from bronze, silver, gold, platinum, and diamond. And you will have, this pretty much says, this chest will drop one of the following rewards at random. And you can see there is 9 rewards in each chest. There's about 11 here, and they're all slightly different. We've got some mortal soul coins, we've got some chickens. The best chest here is obviously giving a feast and legendary book. Now, this makes it look like you've got an equal chance of getting one of these rewards. That is not the case. It is very much like the way that the clan boss chest works, but it is more complicated and more RNG. So I'm going to TLDR this at the start and say, I don't know for sure that every single chest here is going to be the way that the chests work in the game, because obviously it's an assessment the way that I'm reading it. However, if we look at the way the clan boss chest works, there's a chest object within the static data that has a pool of rewards with each with individual probabilities, and then there's extra things like how many rewards can I get from the chest, so you can kind of reverse engineer it to determine, you know, what's the probability of me getting this out of this chest. We've done this for the Hydra chest, the clan boss chest. By now it's pretty obvious. This new chest is coded as a special reward, and it's basically got variants of the same quality chest. So if we look at the bronze chest, there is basically 11 different versions of that chest. So the way that it reads to me, you'll have a chance to roll one of the chests. Then within that chest, there is a number of different probabilities for different rewards that you could possibly get. So the roll would be roll the type of chest, then roll the reward within that chest. So there is 2 layers of RNG. It's very much like the way Deck of Fates used to work. You flip a card, you got a random roll of whether it was a rare, whether it was an epic or a legend. I can't remember the exact tiers, but you'd essentially have a chance to do that. And then the next one you rolled, you would have another one. The whole tile deck behind it was predetermined. You know what you knew we were going to roll was the rarity. But in order for you to get the good rewards, you had to roll 3 in a row. Well, this is another similar system. You have to roll the chest that has the reward you would like, because there's no universality between the chest variants, and then you have to roll the reward odds for that item in that chest. So let's take an example here with the bronze chest. We've got silver, gems, core hammers, ancient shards, soul coins. We've got some essence, brews. If I'm being honest, as a late game player here, I'm looking for ancient shards or the coins and maybe the gems. I don't really care about anything else. The essence is okay, I guess, but really it's the ancient shard, the coins, the gems, and maybe the essence. So let's see, in terms of the odds of me getting an ancient shard, if I open this one-time bronze chest, I can't get more of these, I just get a singular chest. What do I get? Well, we can filter this here and we can go, okay, so there's 11 chests. We're filtering only the bronze ones. I want an ancient shard. Oh, okay, so the ancient shard exists in 4 of the 11 variant chests. And then we look at the individual odds in that chest. It's less than 1% in one of them, or just under 2% in another. So your odds of getting an ancient shard is somewhere between 0.09 and 0.16, because you've got to roll the chest first, which is 4 divided by 11. So the chance of you getting one of the chests is about 36%. Once you roll that chest, you've got to roll then the individual odds within that chest. So for example, if we roll the chest where it is a 1.03% chance I get an ancient shard, it's a 1 divided by 11, and then I times that by 0.012. So the chance of me getting an ancient shard from the variant of one chest is 0.09. When we actually look at what the actual balance is in this chest, the chances are I've got about a 32.9% chance across. Like if we have a look at silver here, the silver odds is about 32% chance in bronze 1. It's about 25% in bronze 2. It's a 34% in bronze 3. I'll do a full assessment of all these numbers eventually and probably pin it in the description so that you can kind of see what per chest, what are my odds of getting all the rewards. What I'm not understanding either, there are rewards in this chest that don't show up in the game. We've got forge charms. We've got brews. We've got random XP brews here. We've got mortal soul coins. So we said, what's the odds of the mortal soul coins? Well, the mortal soul coins only exists in a singular bronze chest variant. We have a 1 chest, and then it's a 4% chance if we get that chest. So again, we go 1 divided by 11. That is a 0.09% chance that I get the 1 chest I need. And then we times that with 0.451 here. So that gives us the chances of me getting a mortal soulstone out of a bronze chest is 0.37%. This is too many layers of RNG. At least when you're doing clan boss, you get 1 chest. If you do that top chest, it's singular rewards. You don't have to roll the right variant to get the rewards you want. The other thing to note about this, if this data is correct, there is opportunities in this magic, the diamond chest, to get eternal soulstones, to get actual champions. The rewards in diamond are gems, silver, core hammer, essence, soulstones, void shards, chicken, two tier 2 soulstones, legendary books, barrels, and feasts. I cannot find a singular chest within the game code that actually has just those lists of rewards in its reward pool, which makes me think either there is some sort of background thing that I'm unaware of, or the game data itself, the description in game, is not correlating to the actual rewards you can get out of these chests. There are further rewards you can get that are not being advertised. But what the TLDR here that I'm pretty frustrated with is you're not giving players equal opportunities to win the same rewards. This was the issue with Deck of Fates. A player could invest 40 million silver to get all of the Deck of Fates cards they needed unlocked. They could open them all, get bad RNG, not get the matching, and walk away with very little rewards. And then someone in my position, I invested basically nothing. I got about 10,000 coins. I flipped 3 epics in a row and I walked away with an epic book for not investing any effort. Or someone could walk away with multiple legendary books. In this example here, I could open that diamond chest and I could walk away with a legendary tome. Or I've got in Magic 1 a 30% chance that I walk away with 200,000 silver. That is just crazy to me, that the chances are we could walk away with silver instead of a legendary tome. One player could invest the same amount of resources, get a legendary book, versus someone who gets a silver. Now, you could be saying, okay, but what about shards? You know, someone can pull 1 void shard and they walk away with Siphi, and then someone can pull 1,000 and not get a Siphi. Sure, I understand that, but at least you can keep pulling shards. You can keep doing that. You can keep going towards it. Eventually, you could possibly get a Siphi. In this system, you get 1 diamond chest. So the same player's same investment gets 1 reward limited, and that's all they get. It just... I do not like this system. It is too much complexity and too much RNG. There was no need to offer this new chest because you can't even monetize it. Because anyone who would look at this would go, I am not going to spend money on a chest that I first have to roll once, then I have to roll again to probably get silver. Nobody's ever going to do that. You cannot monetize this system. So the problem we've got here, we don't know what we need to complete the Titan event. We don't know the event schedule. We don't know how many Titan points. We don't even need to know the event schedule. We just need to know, can I afford to skip anything? Or do I have to do everything? We don't even know in that any detail. We know that they'll be limited. It's such a vague answer. At least if I know that I have to do everything, I can go in here with going, oh, well, at least I'm burning resources. Because there is another side of things where I could do every single event thinking I need to, and then they throw in an extra 20,000 Titan event points. So I could have skipped some things, and I could have saved some resources. There's a fusion about to start on January the 12th, and this fusion is probably the best fusion they have ever done. Players do not want to miss the fusion. Are we going to be having to do double the type of events at the same time? Or are we going to get events that are even worse, where essentially they take away more rewards for the fragments for the fusion and put in this Titan event points and put in Plarium points and put in other things, and we end up getting a reward that basically gives us nothing? And that is just a step too far. We've been seeing a gradual decline, a gradual replacement of things that we value. The Summon Rush on the weekend was terrible. It had 2 legendary tomes in it. The Summon Rush from 2019, let me just get this Reddit thread up here. So someone on Reddit basically did a pull out. They had the Summon Rush from 2011 and the Summon Rush from 2023. Look at the number of rewards. We have replaced a legendary book with 5 tier 2 essence. Keep in mind you need like 300 tier 2 essence for a 6-star legendary split soul. 5 is not enough to replace a legendary tome. We've lost a legendary tome for a feast. I've never used a feast in my entirety of playing this game, and I've played this for a long time. We've lost another legendary tome for an XP barrel. There is one niche scenario where an XP barrel is worth it, and that is generally when you have a level 50 champion with masteries that you take to level 60 and you do not need to do the masteries, because most people will take their champion to rank 6 and they will level them in Minotaur as they do masteries. That gets you to like level 40. There's really such a small usage for the barrel that it's not worth replacing. We've lost a 5-star chicken for 200 of the tier 2 coin. 200 of the tier 2 coin is around about 10, just under 10 summons for the tier 2 soulstone. So that's not so bad. I wouldn't mind losing a rank 5 chicken for just the coins. But we've basically gone from 4 legendary tomes and 4 rank 5 chickens to 2 legendary tomes and 2 rank 5 chickens. in replacement for rewards which are RNG dependent, because even if you get enough for that Eternal Soulstone, the odds are you're going to roll a 5-star epic. That's the odds. We are losing the rewards that we value, that we normally are used to, for these new currencies, which are RNG on top of RNG, and we don't have enough detail for. So with that said, I've ranted a fair bit. Let's just cover the hero's path, or the Hellhades path here, for what you're going to need. It is a very much smaller hero's path than we used to. There's only 32,650 points. It is an artifact upgrade and dungeon divers, similar to the first hero's path we had. The points for upgrading remain the same. We get 780 for a 6-star from 12 to 6. And also, I've got the same numbers of comparisons in terms of the average silver costs that we have worked out from Senti's math a while ago. The dungeon divers here is the same again. 6-star legendary gives you 50, 38 scales. And I'm looking at this from a 16 to a 25 stage farm here. So you're probably either on 16 if you're in the mid game, 20 if you're in sort of the mid to late to end, or if you're being efficient, and then 24 to 25 if you're in the ultra end, and that's all you care about. The points remain the same again. If we're looking at the rewards here, as I said, the actual hero's path is pretty terrible. You're only doing it for the Titan tokens. You're not really doing it. You might be doing it for the 50 player in points, but that's another video for another conversation that we need to go into. But essentially, we have got 3 paths. You've got the left-hand path, and you've got the right-hand path. You can skip 2 of the middle bonus paths. So on this path here, I just wanted to check, you can skip one of the brews, you can probably skip the chickens, and you can skip the brews here, right? So there's a minimal amount of points you can get. We can skip 700, we can skip sort of 1200, 1400 here. But if you want all of the Titan event points, which again, we said, we kind of need them because we don't know whether we're going to have enough to be able to get them from other events, you have to do the left and the right-hand path to get the maximum amount of Titan points. So we've got a left-hand path then, we've got a right-hand path, and then we've got the paths with the plarium point at the end. They're basically the minimum amount of anniversary coins we need to be able to get to the cap. And then we've got an all rewards, how much it would cost us. So I pretty much look at level 12 to level 16 upgrades here because it is the most silver efficient way to do this. If you want to just get the left-hand path, it's going to cost you on average 21.5 million silver, which is going to cost you a lot more if you did it in jewelry. Try to make sure you do it in the main artifacts, otherwise it's going to cost you a lot more. If you go the right-hand path, it's slightly less points, it's 19 million. But on average, if you want to get the plarium points at the bottom and all the Titan event points, you're looking at somewhere around 46 million silver doing just artifact upgrades. Now, obviously you can offset that against dungeon runs, but I would not recommend you consider dungeon runs as a primary source of all the tokens here. You can see on the most efficient stage in terms of energy, it is around stage 20. Stage 16 is slightly more efficient on energy, but not by much. You're looking at 13,000 energy to basically get a handful of pointless rewards and the Titan points towards sort of that path. Obviously, you get some rewards on the Titan path, which are pretty good. You get a Void Shard. It's not the end of the world, but there's no way you're going to be dropping 13,000 points unless you're really invested in that Dragon times 2 event. But it's around about 839 stage 20 runs you're going to need to do, or 798 runs on stage 25, but that will cost you more energy. Obviously, you can offset this. You can do a little bit of dungeon divers, a little bit of artifact enhancement. I'm giving you all basically exclusively one or exclusive the other. In terms of how it compares with like a 7,000 point artifact enhancement, one of the paths is actually cheaper, but you get a lot less rewards, right? We know you'd get a lot more in an artifact enhancement event than what you would get with one of those paths. But typically, it's these heroes paths always cost you more than the traditional events. The idea is you're supposed to be able to have more choice and get better rewards, which is not what we're seeing here. So that's kind of like the breakdown of the heroes path. I don't really need to go into it in too much detail. The key things to take away, if all you do is upgrade artifacts, it's about 50 million silver, 40 to 50 million silver. If you're doing just dungeons, you're going to need to look to invest around about 13 to 14,000 energy. And then you can kind of like halve it, I suppose, if you want to sort of min-max and mix that up a bit. So that is the hero's path. So where does that leave us? Well, I've got to say, as I said at the start of the video, it's disappointing. It's unacceptable. It's the first time I've really kind of been upset with Plarium completely, that I think the whole system just feels terrible. From a player's perspective, this is deceptive with some of the rewards we're getting because this isn't like clearly explained in detail enough. It is at random, but it makes it sound like you've got good opportunities to get one of these things as equal, when actually it's heavily weighted towards gems and silver. Like most players will get gems on silver, and then the lucky people out there might get a legendary tome and that. And it just feels unfair that I can invest the same amount of resources as another player and have really kind of like, I can walk away with a lot less. To me, these diamond chests shouldn't contain silver at all. There's no way that you can justify getting 64,000 Titan points, considering we've just said to get around about 7,000 Titan points, we're going to have to invest 40 million silver. To get 64,000 points and to walk away with 500,000 silver is just not acceptable. These chests don't seem to correlate with the game data. Now, that could be just me and misunderstanding the game data, I guess. It could be different things, but I'm not really sure how these chests are put together, because based on the way that the clan boss chest works and the other chests, they don't correlate. The avatars are pretty cool. I really like the avatars. They're great. I like the reward structure and the model. I don't think the Titan event model is bad. I just think that the way it's been structured, that we don't know how many points we're going to need, is the problem here. Having a global event that lasts a series of months that we gain points from over time is a good model, but not at the expense of existing rewards. It should be in addition. It should be the case that when I'm climbing a tournament on the side, give me a anniversary track that I get an extra point here. Give me some player and points tracks or something that is in addition, not like replacing, because you don't get anything from this dragon tournament. You get a 5-star chicken for doing above and beyond the normal. It's just, you know, these player and points, 50 points. What can I even get for 50 points in the player and points system? I think generally the player and points system was a good concept as well, but 50 points is going to get me a third of the way, not even a third of the way. It's like 1/6 of the way to 250 energy, but it's going to cost me several thousands of energy to get the actual 50 tokens. So we're always at a negative sum gain. Now, I understand that events are not meant to be free. You're meant to invest resources. I get that. But we need to have these systems in addition, not in replacement. We need to have better communication, and we need to have better clarity in terms of how many Titan event points am I going to be able to achieve in total. And these bronze chests should tell you what the odds are. When I go and pull a champion, I get very clear instructions in terms of what are my odds? What is the chances of me getting something? In all other situations, okay, in the clan boss, we don't get necessarily the chest rewards, right? We get drop info. Fine, okay. It's the same, you could argue it's the same system as this chest, but we've been able to determine that from reverse engineering the game code. So everyone knows the odds. It feels good. This is the first time they've actually put a chest within a chest and then rolled it differently. Like, it's so much RNG that you're never going to feel like you get anything of value out of it, and it's just going to feel bad. And that's the last thing I want to end on. It always ends up feeling bad. You give a new system to players, which is exciting, and then the actual result of the system just makes you feel like you burnt a lot of resources and got nothing out of it, or nothing exciting. And I think that's the problem with a lot of people are having with the events at the moment. It's not that there's a lack of diversity of events, because we've got Heroes Path. The Deck of Fates was a good concept, just poorly implemented. We've got this new Titan overarching event. These events are diversifying our event pool. The problem is with every new system and every new reward and every new model, we lose more and more of stuff that we actually feel like would benefit the player, would benefit you in a mid-game progression, would benefit you in late-game progression, which means that players are eventually going to go, why should I bother doing this event? And if they stop engaging with the event, then they stop playing your game. And that is the problem. So whatever the solution to the end of this 30-minute rant that I've put together, it needs to be better than this, Playroom. Okay, I am a very positive person normally, and this has really put me on a negative spiral of ranting that I normally would never put out on a video, but I feel like the player base is going to explode when they realize how these rewards actually tally up to the investment that they need to do. They're going to be putting in a lot of effort. It's not going to be a celebration of your 4-year anniversary. It's going to be an obituary to a bunch of players that are going to quit the game because they are fed up and frustrated with more and more things being lost in order to push players into more grind. And that is just the end of my rant here. Let's fix this system. It's not too late. We can get some clarity and clarification out. We can give people an idea how much they need to burn in terms of these Titan events. If players know what they're walking into, it may not seem so bad if we can get 100,000 Titan event points. We can choose if we want to skip. And finally, what I would say, guys, with the upcoming fusion, prioritize the fusion. That champion is going to be way more impactful than any of these rewards you're going to see in this. That champion will be used in every single one of your teams. If you're in the mid game, it will be really good, even if you get all the way up to plat tier arena meta. I'm pretty sure the plat players are probably looking to get that champion because it would be a great addition to some of their teams and offer them different options. So that's the end of that video. Let's fix it, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.